Iambranded After Dark. Hello, my dear.
Nexxlegacy.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I apologize for being a bit late. I just very excited to speak with you, and very honored to talk to you guys this evening. Thank you.
It couldn't be half of excited. We're like on the moon right now, so it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You've been a part of our lives for so many years, and you're really an inspiration.
Oh, thank you so much. So I take it you guys have been watching the latest season, the last season of All My Children?
Absolutely, absolutely. But we're gonna talk about All My Children a little bit later. I have a couple of things that I actually wanted to tell you because as a musician, and I know you play the guitar, and when I bought Blue Glitterfish a little while ago, I was kind of moved. I was moved to the point where it's just like, I've heard you sing before, but putting an album together and doing all the stuff that you've done on a music level, I have to start off by saying not only job well done, but that voice is definitely captivating. So I have to give credit where credit's due and publicly say thank you for that album, and also Club was it how it pronounces Pasm or
Pasima? I think it's
Pasima.
I
okay,
think that's how it's said.
There you go. Wanted to make sure I got that correctly. But yeah, you're good. You're good. You and the guitar. My gosh, how long have you been playing the guitar?
Oh, I guess it's almost 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I started in my teens and then kind of kept picking it up and putting it down, and especially in my early 20s, I really felt the calling to write, because when you're working on scripted material, after a while you just begin to feel that your own voice or the things that you want to say are really limited. So to me, it was really important to start writing and putting my own ideas out there. And it took me a while to record, but once I did, it was really an amazing experience. I had a wonderful producer, George Walker Pettit, and we worked out of one of the best studios in New York called Road Tracks, and it was a magical experience. And I really wanted to give the people who have been so kind enough to follow my work something that was, the best that I could possibly make for them with everything that I had, and I'm really, really glad you liked it.
I love it.
So
when's
the next one coming out?
Well, hopefully soon. My fiance bought me some recording equipment, because everything just keeps getting more and more refined for us to be able to do things more on our own. And I have a whole album written, so one of these days I'll sit down and record. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be right here waiting on you.
Yeah, I had to start off with that, Cady, but just for the simple fact that we all know and love you for all the efforts, and of course playing Dixie for as long as you have, and Rosanna, of course, and doing everything that you've done in daytime. I had to start off a little unorthodox and just tell you that you as a musician, you're very high on my mark, and I just really wanted to show my gratitude for that album. And we kind of did a nice little montage, and we kind of spotlighted Cool Blue a little bit off of that too. So we're gonna play that. And also, people, once again, make sure you go to CD Baby and or Amazon to go pick up both albums from this beautiful lady. So congrats on the musician that you are, dear.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you.
I would love. Did you want to do that now, Bram, or do you want to? Because I want to find out about the short film. I'm sorry. I know I might be rushing, but I'm excited.
Well, you know what? That's why I am here, and we're surrounded by beautiful actresses as well, by the name of Monique, and also by the name of Nicole. They are here as well, and of course, we want to know about Flip Fantasia. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss McClain, can you give us the 411 on this short film that will be seen in a few festivals and things like that, correct?
Yeah, hopefully. I just started submitting I've been really torn about the way to present this film. But the story of the film is that I wrote it in 2011 when I came out again to do All My Children in Los Angeles. I lived in New York City for about 25 years, and I was just out here for a brief time to shoot the sort of end of the show on ABC. And again, you know, I was like, I really want to write something, and this story came out of me really fast. I think it took me about a week to write the script. It's a comedy, I think. I always told the actors when we were shooting this, you know, remember, it's a comedy. Because it's pretty dark, and but it's also a love story. It's about four friends, and it begins in like the first thing in the morning where they've been out all night, and I was inspired by the beginning of La Femme Nikita when the four guys, the French version, and they're walking down the street together, and they're dragging a body, and I was like, that's just the greatest image. So these four guys are dragging a body in the beginning. And the only difference is that it's his girlfriend, and it looks like she's passed out, and she's being a little rough with her, I'm afraid. But it's a little sick, I know.
No!
You know, people have been drinking all night. They don't make always the best decisions.
Amen.
Right?
A little twisted.
They come to sort of realize that the girl isn't just passed out anymore. There's something kind of more wrong with her, and and it's how they kind of they have to get it through their friend's head, you know, that this is the fact of what's happened, and then what to do about it, and how to resolve it. And you know, it's a metaphor for a lot of things, for letting go, for you know, dealing with realities in life that we don't always want to look at, you know, dealing with denial, and especially for how, you know, we move each other, whether we're alive or not. You know, how important we are to one another. You know, human relationships and friendship. You know, these four guys are deep friends, and on a certain level too, it's a real love story to New York City, where I you know, even when I was, you know, working on kids there, I had I was very naive when I first moved to New York, and then I was always curious about what was going on downtown, and I guess you could say I found out. Yeah, I knew. I learned a few things about going out and, you know, the wilder life, and, you know, from the born and raised New York boys, they taught me a thing or two that I probably didn't know. I should not know. But I do.
That is a life that I actually want to get to know. So I'm jealous.
I don't know.
The New York nightlife.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, my goodness.
And Cady, the trailer that you had, it was so funny to me because, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, if they look at it, oh my God, I need to find out what's really going on here. Like, and you know, you that trailer alone kind of piqued my curiosity. So I'm really looking forward to it. So wherever there's a festival when you did, I'm looking forward to it. So it's my question that I do have, as far as you, this is your directorial debut, correct?
Yes, and I wrote it and produced it as well. So it's kind of my baby all the way around. Oh my God, wonderful. Almost too many. I also art directed it. I also did all the costumes. I was going around with like a suitcase full of costumes to all our different sets and locations. I was like Mom, you know. It's like, okay, you're going to dress outfit, and now you're going to stand here. Wait a minute, I got to put the curtain behind you, right? Okay. Like I was getting him ready for like a school portrait or something. Oh my God.
Amazing. I'm so looking forward to it. Flip Fantasia, just go ahead and show some love and follow on Twitter. It's Flip Fantasia MOV on Twitter, and of course Cady McClain on Twitter as well. And Monique, you have a question
Facebook.
for Miss McClain. And Facebook as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
Fantasia the movie on Facebook. Yeah, we have about 15,000 followers on Facebook now, which is really great.
Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's been awesome. People are really coming out to support the movie. And, of course, because Facebook's, like, worldwide, we can really, reach out. We're also going to be, I'm going to do the festivals for a few months, not very long, and then I'm going to let it out into the world because I really want people to see it. It's not about, like, trying to get, like, accolades and everything. There's a certain part of it where you have to sort of, show your love to the film community and and kind of support what that's all about and the smaller, festivals and stuff like that. But there's also a part of me that just really believes that, it's about reaching the audience and the people that are, the moviegoers and the people who deserve a good story, So I want to share it with everybody sooner rather than later.
Very good.
Yeah, because I want to be reached.
Very good.
Good.
Very good.
I won't make you wait, I promise.
There you go. Monique, go ahead. Talk out a question for Cady.
Well, Cady, first off, I just want to congratulate you on your directorial debut production that you wrote and directed. I know that's a lot of work. It's a lot of hats to wear, and it seems like that would be so exciting. I would love to one day be in the position to do that. How did you, balance all of that out? Because it's like you can't even sleep. If you're writing it and you're directing it and producing it, when did you sleep? First off.
I didn't. I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't.
So
there's definitely, during the week that we were shooting, I think I got maybe 4 hours a night. It was brutal. And yet, I think I was also just so excited and so wanting.
That adrenaline.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of adrenaline going, and it was the biggest. Much. I think when I was doing it, I don't think I realized how what a big kind of bite of a sandwich, I guess you could say, how much I'd bitten off, to deal with. But really, the bigger thing was I really felt like, and I love working with people who are new in the business or who feel like you just said, like you've got a story to tell. I just think, I believe so deeply that everybody has at least one, if not more, like really, really important stories inside them that, are important to share, and just a matter of sort of encouraging them to get it out. And so I was also, while I was doing this, trying to keep all the actors that I was working with informed as to every step of the process. Here's how I did this. It's not rocket science, and here are the steps, that you have to take.
It can be done.
Yeah, absolutely, it can be done. So they knew, and they were empowered to feel like, if I have a calling, then here's how to do it. It's hard work. It's really hard work. It's not. I think sometimes, like if you get to come to an LA set and you see like a really, fancy production, and it must look so easy, but they've got usually like tons of money and 100 people, and you don't need to have tons of money and 100 people, but if you don't have tons of money and 100 people, you just have to be willing to do
a lot more work. Somebody's doubling up on something.
Do the work. Exactly.
That's right.
Somebody's got to wash the dishes. It's probably going to be you. You know what I mean? And I literally, at the end, we were shooting in somebody else's apartment, and while I talked to the actors preparing them for the next day, I was cleaning that apartment myself. And they were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm not walking out of this apartment, like, leaving it a mess. This is my reputation."
That's pretty awesome.
Wow. That's amazing. And how inspiring just to have, it's inspiring to young actresses and actors to have somebody that's willing to give that guidance. So thank you on their behalf, because that must be, really inspiring.
I hope so. I've forged a really nice bond with the people that I made this movie with, and we're going to actually be shooting another short, God help me. I'm like, you crazy? But it's a matter of weeks. In October, we're doing another one, and we've already started talking about doing a feature. We've got a script. Serious, yeah.
Now, I want to know, did you get a lot of support from, like, your peers or, former co-stars, or, how, when you, discussed this with people who ran it past them and told them this was something you were planning on doing, what kind of support did you get from some of your own peers?
I think of course, the most support and really the most important support I got was from John Lindstrom, who's my fiance, and he's a director and actor. And he was the one who sort of said, you can do this. You do it. You direct it. Because I was going to maybe, hire somebody else, and I thought, oh, my God, really? And he's like, yes, you know the story better than anybody else.
Right.
Yeah, and to be
Nobody
in a
can
relationship.
tell it better than you.
Yeah, and to have somebody say that to you. I mean, I was just telling him today, like, how important, a supportive relationship is, to have somebody at home who believes in you and doesn't judge you and tells you that, whatever it is that you want to do, that they're that they're going to love you and be there.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Yeah, it's the greatest gift that you can give to somebody you love,
Wow.
that kind of unconditional support. So that was amazing. And then I think, from the show, I mean, I certainly had a moment with Vincent Irizarry, who's really incredibly supportive human being. He just, times I've been down or struggling with something, he just gets right down in my face, and he's like, don't you let these people get you down,
Right.
He's pretty amazing guy. And
plays
actually,
David on All My Children, correct?
That's right. And he and Sal Stowers and Lindsay Hartley and Robert Wilson were all at my house last night, and they all got to see it. I showed it to them. I did like a little private screening for them, and it was so great to hear them laugh and hear them go, "Oh my God, I can't believe that's happening!" And they were so great.
So they were there with you. They felt you.
Yeah, totally.
They got it.
Awesome. Yeah, they got it, and they liked it.
It just seems like, you're very passionate about what you do, and that's awesome, because I guess when you're really passionate about what you do, other people give that back to you by being passionate about what you do as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a good vibe, I mean, and
right.
That's, and like I said to them, I'm like, I want you to feel take that and say, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to make?
Right.
And so it's such a special group, the cast of All My Children at this particular moment, because there's none of that jealousy or weirdness or, I guess, what you're talking about in terms of, and John and I were just talking about this too, I really believe that creativity and it comes from a place of knowing that there is enough for everybody,
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
This is the energy that came to me and a story that came to me, and I just sort of, I had the decision and the strength. And I guess that's something I'm lucky to have, that I have a lot of strength to,
definitely,
to put
and to be able.
And
Cady, to still be able to have the determination after years of doing this and expanding your legacy, in my opinion, is important. And Ms. McClain is our guest on Nexxlegacy Radio's Branded After Dark. And before Nicole asks you a question, with Flip Fantasia being your directorial debut and just having the control to be able to basically market it and just do everything that you possibly can to be able to get your product out, do you feel more empowered than you did when you first started doing acting and now doing a lot more on not just music but also directing?
Absolutely. And it was fascinating to what I learned about acting once I directed.
Wow.
I remember when I was very young, I'd read something in a mammoth book it's called a Practical Handbook for Actors, and it said, go through the list of things that you can't worry about. Can you change the lighting? No. Can you control the director? No. Are you going to make the set? No. Can you change the other actor and what they're doing? Not really. What can you control? All you can do is act. That's all you can do is control yourself and deal with yourself. Everything else is completely out of your control. And in a way, it was very freeing. And when I stepped into the director's shoes and I was doing 10 million things, all I wanted the actors to do was act.
Right.
I didn't want them to worry about anything else. But acting is not easy. The actors that came to the set, prepared and patient, and when it was their time to be in front of the camera, ready to go, boy, you just kind of, it just touches your heart in a real particular way. Gratitude, just like, didn't screw around on set, the ones that they call them professionals, but they're behaving in a manner that is like they're taking their art seriously and themselves seriously, and it made me realize, that resonates. It really resonates for everybody else who's on the other side of the camera. We feel that, and their work tends to be a bit more solid. Ultimately.
Mm-hmm. So, is directing frustrating at times?
The hardest thing is when people give you what I call kickback, and kickback is they're pissed off or frustrated about something, and they're gonna they'll say something a little nasty to you, and you have to not react, because if you react, then you're dealing with that issue, as opposed to being the leader and being like, okay, I hear you're upset, and what can we do to solve that problem, because that's not your job to get in there and hold people's hands. Your job is to shoot the film,
Right.
Make it work. That's right. Very true.
The hardest part was being a woman and doing that with a cast of and crew of 99% men. And there were times I was like, okay, everybody, every word out of my mouth, I'm going to sound like a bitch today. I'm going to warn you, if you don't like me, you can call me names behind my back. But I'm sorry, I drive you like slaves. So, hang in there.
There you go. Nicole, go ahead and toss out a question from Ms. McClain on Branded After Dark.
Hi, Cady. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations on your first project behind the scenes. I wanted to find out, I have two questions. How long did the whole project take, from starting with writing the script to the end of the production? And my second question is, you kind of answered my question about future projects coming up behind the scenes. I wanted to see if you could just touch on what your next film is going to be and what inspired that.
Absolutely. Thank you. I wrote the script in 2011, and we had a reading, but then I pretty much put it down for a while. And so I could say that was about 2 weeks. But when I picked it up again to actually start pre-production, we had 3 weeks of pre-production, 5 days of shooting, and then about a month of post-production. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 weeks total, so 2.5 months total of focused work. And some people have said to me that's really fast, to shoot a short film that was a multi-day, multi-location type of project. Other people, they'll shoot a short film in a day, It just depends on the material. I guess I just sort of felt really driven. I didn't think I thought I had only so much time to work before we were going to go back into production for the show. So I really felt like I had to grab the opportunity. And the next thing that's coming up that we're shooting in October is it's the title of it is The World of Albert Fuh, F-U-H. And it's basically another one of those weird little movies where it's about a man who falls in love with a balloon.
A balloon?
All right.
Oh,
All right.
Interesting.
It's possible.
Yes, yes. And the larger sort of metaphor for it is that, sometimes there are people that I've known, and I suppose I've done this too in my life. Of course, I don't want to admit to it, but where you've been so wounded that you don't feel like you can love, so you pick something that feels safe. And this guy just happens to be so wounded that the someone that he picks that he feels safe to risk with is an inanimate object.
Wow.
And he just chooses to go through this experience with something that he knows is going to die. And that's really kind of the story, so that once he goes through that, maybe it will make him more ready for a real person. That's the idea.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Sure.
So now that you had this experience on, you're used to being on the camera, and now you have the experience of being the director and writer, what would you say is you're more passionate about, or is it the same, or?
It's tough. It's different. I mean, today, like all day, I've been like, gosh, I'm dying to act again. I really miss it. There's something about it that is just so, once you've been doing it, it's like, I don't know, it's like walking into a magical world that you just kind of need to go and visit, from time to time.
You miss the character.
I miss acting. Sometimes I miss being in character.
Right.
I miss being somebody not me.
Right.
Somebody that is not me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Makes clear, perfect sense.
Yep.
Yeah. And but the directing and the writing is it's just so much fun to have that opportunity to create the whole world, not just the character or the characters, but the whole world that they live in. It's like going from painting on a canvas to like a three-dimensional, like a house, fully decorating the interior and the exterior and the garden and everything. And so you're not just like, look at that lovely thing I made on a wall, but look at this environment that I can make that people can come into and enjoy,
Right.
And I often say if you can buy and sell a house, which is probably like one of the most traumatic things, or even moving, if you can go through a divorce, you can make a movie.
You could do anything.
Exactly. We're married first.
Hey, that means I'm ready. That means I'm ready for a movie then. There you go. Means I'm ready for one.
A director's chair.
Cady McClain is our guest on Nexxlegacy Radio's Branded After Dark, and make sure you go ahead and when Miss McClain puts out Flip Fantasia, which will be available in certain spots when you do your showing and your I can't wait to see where the next place is going to be, so I can try to get to you to be able to watch it. I mean, it's the trailer intrigued me, the music of the trailer intrigued me, just everything about it just seems so diverse and so captivating. So I'm really and truly looking forward to it. So hats off to you
on the map.
Directing this thing, and I'm looking forward to it. So you have a whole bunch of All My Children fans on the line too. So I will be able to take at least a couple of calls before we let her go. But we have to talk about All My Children with it being on online now. And before we even start about just Hulu and online and the online network and all that good stuff, and I got to tell you. And we played clips of just the relationship that you had with Michael E. Knight, a.k.a. Tad Martin. And 20 years, and you put something on your Facebook page that really just kind of threw me off, and it was just a picture that you guys had back in '93, I believe, and you guys were in Canada. And that was what? How long ago has that been? 20 years almost?
Yeah, at least
20 years. And personally, how is how is it that Miss McClain can still look the way she looked in '93 and look the same way in 2013? Somebody please help me. We want to know your secret. We want to know.
Good lighting. I carry around great lighting. Never stand directly under that light. Yeah, always to the side. The Seinfeld episode, you know. Never get too close.
Well, you know, with the rich history that All My Children has, One Life to Live for that matter too, and for it to be pulled from mainstream television, a.k.a. ABC, at that particular time, was it a year or so ago? I know it did a lot of disservice to the hardcore, the true fan base of that. So now here we are with season 1 of the resurrection of All My Children being under its new leadership. And how did you feel after this first season? As far as, did it overwhelm you? Was it easier versus back then? How was your overall take from this new era that All My Children has ushered with this season?
Well, I think overall it felt like a roller coaster because the show has changed its kind of structure so many times, you know?
Right.
So as the actors, you know, we're also like fans of the show. I shouldn't speak for everybody, but I'm a fan of the show, and I was so excited about it coming online because I was writing articles online. I spent a lot of time talking to people online, and I just believe that the internet is a really, you know, exciting place for content. And you know, while we were going on the journey and the fans were coming, it's really exciting. And then it got just a little nauseating for a while. You know, I think probably for everybody. We were just like, what's happening? It's been so many times. What's happening? But it kept going. It stayed, you know, fighting. It didn't disappear. It's got this new format where they're making it more like a series with seasons. You know, it's coming back. I've talked to Mr. Smith 100 times if I've talked to her once, and you know, it's absolutely coming back this fall. I've been, you know, everybody's been given, you know, guarantees of just trying to make it as great a show as they possibly can make it before we start. And so, I mean, I feel like it's a really kind of thrilling, you know, breakout time for the show. It's just hard because it's we're all kind of. There's a comforting factor that comes with watching soap operas, you know? It feels like, there's the music that reminded me of when I was with my mom, and it's on the TV, just like it always is on the TV. And I'm so glad it's on OWN. I mean, that's really kind of a cool...
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I'm also glad it's still on the Internet so that you can, you know, if you miss the episode on OWN, you can be like, oh, wait a minute, you know, I can go to TLON or Hulu and, you know, I can catch that episode that I missed, so I can come back, you know, the next day and watch. You know, it's just
going on.
Yeah. It's a fascinating time.
Are you surprised at the all the hardcore fan, like everybody that missed you, that, you know, has a hard time letting go, because you've been in everybody's house every day of the week for, you know, 20 years. So, you know, it was hard to let All My Children, you know, go from seeing you every day or whatever, and not being on the Internet. So, I mean, were you surprised at the reception that you guys have gotten?
You know, yes and no. I mean, I'm thrilled that so many people have, you know, come back, you know, after we basically weren't on the air for almost a year, and, you know, just sort of the longing that, you know, people have had. And it's not just nostalgia. It's a connection, like you said, you know, get on the air every day. Not just for a year, but, you know, 10, 20 years. Good God. I mean, that's pretty intense, man. It's like, you know? And, you know, when I think about Michael and I see those pictures, I'm just like, Michael is family to me. He's just, you know, he's deep in my heart as a human being. And And I feel so lucky that I'm able to, have this sort of huge arc of time and work with him. I guess the hardest thing has been that because the internet has this sort of knee-jerk, people can have a knee-jerk reaction, be like, oh, I hate that, or, that's stupid.
Right.
We as actors certainly are more exposed to that than we used to be. Used to just be someone actually had to sit down and take the time to write, I hate you, Dixie, you're so stupid. What is wrong with your hair today?
That's hilarious.
Your mom jeans really have to go.
And now you get it instantly now.
There you go.
I actually I had
before Monique asks you a question, I'm bouncing around a little bit, so forgive me, Cady, when I say, I guess, 3 words, and to me, when I saw this online, I just completely just fell out of my chair in just complete laughter. So the 3 words that I'm gonna throw out to you, Miss McClain, is S5e effing homemaker.
I look deep for you.
How did you know what, if Dixie, a la Erica Slezak from One Life to Live, if she ever has her split personalities, you can turn Susie into something real powerful, right? Because oh my God, you just had me completely dying laughing. That was amazing. You did good work.
Oh, thank you. It really comes, I was at my sink doing my dishes, and you would not believe how, my God, I'm so domestic. Like, I get up and not just make the coffee, but, take out, lots of people are domestic like this. You take the dishes out of the dishwasher, then you sweep the floor, and you feed the dogs, and you walk the dogs, and you do the laundry, and, you make the bed, and you fold the clothes, and all of that stuff. It's a huge part of my daily life, and as everybody does, normal people stuff. And but when you're an actor and you're not working all the time, you can do an awful lot of it. And fold an awful lot of clothes and take your anxiety out. Like, oh, we got to paint that wall. Oh, we got to fix that. So it's like, God, I'm like, Susie, we're a homemaker. Would you like a martini, dear? Shall I make it tonight? What is wrong with you? What happened to you, liberated, free woman running around downtown New York like a crazy person? What are you doing? So I thought, there's something here. There's something here. I can get out all the things that I've ever wanted to say and all the kind of experience that I've had with some of these wonderful New York people that are just, all the things that I was always sort of shy and kind of, I had this sort of weird Midwestern kind of mom who always telling me that, oh, don't do that, always wear clean underwear, make your bed.
Oh my God. You are hella funny.
If you haven't seen S5e effing homemaker, you can make sure all you got to do is Google it somewhere. You'll be able to find it. I'm telling you, just like all the people in the chat room, and Shady Sykes is on there saying, hey, if David Canary can play Adam and Stewart for so many years, Cady can bring on her altar too. So there you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Monique, go ahead and toss out a question for Cady, please.
Well, Cady, as you know, we all are. I'm definitely a longtime fan of All My Children. Dixie and Tad were one of my favorite couples. I liked when you were at Adam, but, it was definitely the Dixie and Tad love affair that really caught me. You guys, so you were one of my favorite couples besides Angie and Jesse. But, our lineup from when I was growing up was we watched Young and the Restless, All My Children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. That was just the lineup, Once General Hospital was over, you can leave the house. But besides you and Tad, Angie and Jesse were like that power couple as well. And do you feel now from since when you first started that the diversity has changed some? Because Angie and Jesse were pretty much the only, people of color really that were on for a long time. I know that Michael B. Jordan also played on there. I think was he like Erica Kane's son for a while, who is the lead in Fruitvale Station as well. But do you feel like the diversity is changing? Is it opening up more for people of color, or,
enough? Not enough on soap operas, not really. And
right.
Some.
So we get a little sprinkle here and a sprinkle there, but
yeah.
I mean, after all these years, do you see like anything changing, or is it still really hard for African Americans or people of color to get these roles?
Well, I think it's about them creating the roles. I mean, there was a family on One Life to Live that was an African American family that was, really exciting, and I thought fun to watch, and I integrated into the whole picture of the story. It wasn't like they were just like, here's the white people and here's the African American family. It was, and that's the way it should. You know what I mean? It's like, hello, where do we live? Like, what's happening?
Right.
Sorry.
Because for so long, Angie and Jesse were like the only, you know what I mean?
I know.
Couple that we could relate to.
Absolutely.
I mean, I loved everybody, don't get me wrong, but, sometimes it's nice to see people that look like some of your cousins or your uncle or,
Of course. And one of the things I think they did right on this particular season was they, Angie's like the head of the hospital. She and Jesse are front burner. They're like, they are the power couple in the show, and they've got this wonderful storyline for their daughter Cassandra, which was horrifying. I was, got to be part of that, and was glued to all of them because I felt like, I felt like the little mama, just like wanting to hug everybody because they had to cry and go through such a difficult time. But I was so proud of the work that everybody did. I really kept saying, this is MEU kind of work, and I wanted everybody to know that was going on, and so I mean that's something that I think our show in particular tends to be more about. It seems like silly. Like how can we even be talking about this like integrated? You know what I mean? Instead of separating, a black storyline and a white storyline. I mean, it's.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be a part of a show that did stuff like that. That's like beyond old-fashioned and stupid. But so, thank God, there's I think a lot that major kind of forward movement in terms of soaps in both One Life to Live and All My Children, at least that I've seen. Thank God for that at that time, right?
Right.
Please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the things I know, like with my little film, there's an African American guy. There's a
I saw it was a very diverse crowd that you have.
Yeah.
How did you go about choosing those characters, or did you know what you wanted those characters to be, and you just sought out those people to put them in those roles, or how did you go about making your cast so diverse?
I didn't aim to say like, I want to have a diverse cast. I had a stoner, a writer, a guy who was kind of like Johnny Slick, and a lover. That's what I thought. And then I worked with a guy who, happens to be his family's from the country Colombia, so he's just I don't know what you call him. He's Hispanic, and he wonderful writer, and he's the lead in it. And I said, well, let's when we did a reading, I knew I wanted the guy who was the leader of the group to be African American, and I have no idea why. I just thought this would be, and I knew I wanted the lover to be Hispanic. I don't know. I guess I like diversity. I like it.
Right.
It color. I like people coming from different backgrounds and histories. It's rich.
You like it to be vivid. Yeah.
Yeah. It's rich, and everybody coming from a different place, and that they're all friends. That's the point to me. That's the point.
And then if you have,
they all like to drink the same beer.
Right.
They like the same jokes. They like the same clubs. They like the same girls. That's what matters. In a friendship, they got each other's backs. And I thought I had an opportunity to just sort of slip that little message in there.
I think that's great. I think it's great. And then I think the more we see diverse images like that, it will become more normal. It'll come to where that's how it should be. It should be diverse because that's how it is when you walk outside. We need to see images of everybody because we're all here for however long together so we have to learn from each other and
absolutely
not just when a tragedy hits and now everybody's kumbaya,
Right.
I've got everybody's back when it's something serious, but when it's not.
Yeah.
Indeed, Cady McClain is our guest on Branded After Dark, and Nicole, go ahead and toss out a question, and then I'll go ahead and grab 2 quick calls before we get ready to wrap this up as well. So, Nicole, go for it.
Cady, hi again. I just wanted to know the transition from television to the internet. What was your feelings about that? Did it make a difference to you? Were you happy about it? Were you disappointed? I just wanted to know your overall, because you were on television for so many years, and it's a big change, and it's an awesome change. But I just wanted to know how you. I just wanted to know your emotion about it. How did you feel about it?
Well, when I heard it was coming online, I hadn't been asked to come to the show yet. I was like, oh God, please ask me. Oh, please ask me. Oh, please.
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Because I felt like online is the future, man. It's just
right.
It's where it's happening. It's where it's at, and
it's universal.
Yes.
Yeah. It's you can watch the show whenever you want to watch it. You can talk about the show while you're watching it.
Right.
You can be at work. You can be, online at the supermarket and watch it on your phone. I mean,
on your phone,
you can. You just have this much more interactive experience with the show. And I think because with soaps, you can have this you already have an interactivity. You're already. If it was on TV, you were always going like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Anyway, Now we've just become so obsessed with our computers and stuff. We're just like, now you can just type it in, and and I just thought there were so many opportunities, and I have no regrets. I still think it's an innovative, exciting show to be a part of.
It's like more benefits than television. I wanted to one more question. Oh my God, my mind just went blank. Your schedule for filming. I just want to know, your schedule for that. And do you have time to go on other castings when you are filming? Is it like a Monday through Friday? Just wanted to know kind of schedule you have when you're filming.
It's definitely Monday through Friday. Sometimes we're asked to shoot like a remote or something on a Saturday as well. And it is absolutely all-encompassing. It is 12 to 18-hour days, early in the morning till late at night, all day, brutal schedule. But it's not
downtime, isn't it? You're not you might be in your trailer waiting for your scene, right?
Well, sometimes, but it's we have dressing rooms, but there's
dressing rooms, right?
Yeah, there's such a we're shooting sometimes 2 shows in a day, so you don't always have that much downtime. There's usually rehearsal, getting hair and makeup, running your lines with your team partner. Boom, you're on set, and you've got to do it over again. And depending on where your scenes are throughout the day, so it's pretty intensely focused work for sure. When you're doing it, now that we do it in sort of intense sections of time. It's not like it was on TV where it was depending on your storyline, you'd be working, maybe 2 days a week, or you'd be working really hard for 5 days a week, and you'd be doing that for a few months, but then you'd have a break while somebody else would take the lead in the storyline,
Right.
This is different.
Mm-hmm.
This is like everybody's there all together.
With you having to shoot like 2 shows in one day, what is your method for your learning your lines? I mean, how do you get those down?
I pray a lot. I love praying.
Good question.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like your mind has to be like
that's right.
absorbing it like it's a computer. I mean, for me, when I do stuff, I like write my lines, but I know that there's going to be times where I can't write my lines over. I learn through repetition and word recognition, and then I know there's going to be times where I'm not going to be able to do that. So, I mean, everybody has their method of learning or memorization. So I just praying. Okay.
I try. I look for lines that rhyme. That starts with a B. That starts with a B. All that stuff. I run the lines with people, and then at the very last minute, I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Wow. To make it today.
And he will answer your prayers. He will answer your prayers.
Let me go ahead and take this. Let me take a couple of calls. Let me start off with first the guy who's been waiting the longest, and that's Mr. Daniel from Philadelphia. You are on Nexxlegacy Radio's Branded After Dark with Miss Cady McClain.
Hi, Miss Cady McClain. Just want to say, first of all, thank you very much. You always respond to me on Twitter. You actually follow me on Twitter, and not just that. You actually inspire me. I try to always write, but I always end up with like a writer's block. But anytime I get a writer's block, I just listen to s5e7 Homemaker or watch one of your scenes from All My Children, or just read one of your tweets that you wrote to me, and it inspires me and it helps me with my writer's block. And I just want to say thank you very much for everything you've ever said to me, and just you are such an amazing blessing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, you're certainly a blessing to me right now, let me tell you. And you're a blessing to me online. I mean, I love interacting with you, and I really appreciate, your presence in my life. So thank you.
Well, and also, I just want to say that your soon-to-be husband, John, is the luckiest man ever, because like what the host was saying earlier, I don't care if it was 20 years before, or you still look the same. You're still beautiful.
That's right.
You're so beautiful, and it's just amazing. And they seriously need to give you like a role. A storyline you can sink your teeth into on All My Children. Not just Dixie's always the helper. She needs to You can tell Dixie wants to rip Dr. Anderson's clothes off or whatnot.
Hey, Daniel, she just needs that alter ego. So s5e7 Homemaker needs to be an alter ego, and that will give Cady some good work.
Do that, yeah.
Some good work.
Although I don't think Dr. Anderson will appreciate being pounced on by Susie. Darling.
Exactly.
I actually did have a
Daniel, I appreciate the call. Let me take one more from this young lady calling from the 941. She was able to hang out with us, and she stayed on the longest too. And you're live with Cady McClain on Branded After Dark.
Hi, this is Yoga. So my question is, I'm a fan of All My Children. Well, my number one soap opera is Young and the Restless. But my question is that you are now mainstream. And is it because that no other network will accept you? Because I'm pretty sure that everybody would love to see you back on television, minus some of these reality shows that are going on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, I can't speak for, what Prospect Park's plans are. Plans are. I mean, I do think that they're focused on online, because I think they feel that's the future of the show, of a lot of content. But I do think that they already put they put it on OWN. It's and OWN is, I think, very happy to have the show. So whether they will go back to, the big three networks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's in their minds. It's a funny thing. All I understand about what's happening in terms of our culture and our world today with our media is that it is just constantly changing, and
absolutely,
right. It's a little overwhelming, and I know there's a comfort in things being in the same place that we've always been able to find them. I was just telling John, I was like, remember when there was a phone that was in your house? It rang, always rang. Like your phone sometimes won't ring, and you're like, I missed that call. But just those little things, and those days are sadly kind of, gone.
Yeah, I feel like this. It's really sad because they're taking a lot of these soap operas off when their ratings are good.
Yeah.
Like As the World Turned, and you all were doing great, and just to get the news that a lot of you were being canceled, I kind of feel like they were replacing it with nonsense shows to me. Making room for a lot of these shows that were unnecessary, like reality shows.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel somewhere there should be not only to play your reruns, but to play what's going on now. Instead of looking at you on the computer on mainstream, I think that people need to write into own to put you on the show. Live, what's going on now? We don't have to look at you on the computer. A lot of us don't have computers. We would like to, see you on own.
Well, there's a, I think a bigger, kind of money issue.
Right.
And there's, 2008 really messed up everybody, including those big corporations, and they had to sort of cut their losses and think about, all right, to make those network soaps, it's not cheap, they cost millions and millions a year to do one of the soaps, and if they think that they can, that's what happened with All My Children. The network thought that they could make a show for several million less and make several million more, and the same amount of people would watch it, and to me, that's sort of sad that it just sort of, it felt sort of heartless, and I think that's.
I agree.
I think that's kind of what you're talking about. And like, how could a business not look at the loyalty of the fans,
right.
sort of like
Absolutely.
weighing factor,
Yes.
And
Cady, correct me if I'm wrong, Cady, but I think you might understand where I'm coming from when I say this. I think, especially with reality shows, and I tell this to everyone that I've talked to over the years, and not just doing radio, but in general, if you don't like it, don't support it. And if you don't support it, and if it comes by the ton, they're gonna actually see exactly why certain reality shows fail. And if it's because of lack of interest, then maybe they can second guess exactly their marketing plan on what they're doing with their network. So it's going to be up to the power of the fan base to determine what is on and what's not.
Right.
And that is so smart, and that's so right on. And I think there's a funny thing that's happened with people where they don't feel like they have any power or control, and and they're just like, I just have to watch this crap that's on, I guess, But
Right.
You're right. You don't have to. You can say, I don't want to watch this. This is not entertainment to me, and I'm going to write in or support the show, the kind of programming that you really like, and maybe if it's not like great that day, don't rip it to shreds. Just hang in there and stick with the show. Sometimes.
Right.
I think people have really kind of gone after, All My Children, recently for, I don't know, because we're not announcing when the next season is. And it's like, hang on, man, we're here. We promise we'll be back. Please don't kill us.
We're not going anywhere.
Right.
We like the soaps, we want to keep making the soaps. And, so to support the programming that you like it's vital. It really is vital to the future.
Indeed.
So you're important. You really are.
Indeed. And before we say our goodbyes to you, and I know one by one, I know we want to say goodbye, but the last show of the season, the first season of All My Children, had a cameo from Mr. Michael E. Knight, correct? That's it's kind of what we got towards the end. Is that really coming to fruition? Is that something that is in the works for season 2, or are you going to tell me stay tuned? Because you never know.
I can't get anything out of anybody. You think I'm not asking these people? Like, what's going on? Nobody's telling me anything. I'm like, I texted him. I was like, hey, buddy, like, not like a word to me. Like, hello, not even gonna tell me that you're gonna come. Like nice back of your head there. You know, you were back my best work.
Mum's the word.
I don't know. I wish I could give you some hints or say stay tuned. I know nothing about that. I just am excited. Right? I'm excited. I hope it does work out. He's a wonderful actor, and I'd love to work with him again. So, fingers crossed.
Cady says you never know, so that's her version of saying stay tuned.
Absolutely. Please.
And before I'm gonna go around the room so people can say their goodbyes to you, and I'll start with Nicole.
I just wanted to say it was a pleasure meeting you, and you're very insightful. I enjoyed speaking to you and getting to know you more, and I just wish you well on your future endeavors, and good luck to you with everything you do.
Thank you so much for your really interesting questions. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
Monique?
Take care.
Monique?
I also would like to say it was really nice meeting you, Cady, and you have been a part of my life for the last 20 years. So meeting you now, it just really brings it full circle. I really feel like I know you, even though I know I don't really know you, but I do know you. So with that said,
it was super nice to meet you and to get to know you a little bit. Please come on to my Facebook page. I read everything, and I write everything myself. I read everything that everybody writes to me. So
nice.
I used to be called Cady McClain would like to be your friend. So call me my friend, and we will be friends. And that's all there is.
I would love to be your friend. So
yeah.
There you go.
Thank you much for all your insightful information. I appreciate you.
And my host, sweet Aaron, go ahead.
I have to say thank you so very, very, very much for joining us tonight and coming on. It was really a super pleasure talking to you. And thank you so much for being a part of so many people's lives for so long. And, your determination and your passion. And I honestly, I cannot wait to see Flip Fantasia. I am so ready right now, it's ridiculous. So, thank you so very much, and it was an honor and a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, thank you. You've really just filled my heart tonight, and I'm just so blessed to have been able to speak with all of you. I'm really, truly grateful, and I will really have to think about letting out Flip Fantasia sooner rather than later, because I want you to...
Yes.
I am so looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to it. And before I let you go, of course, you know how I feel about you, Cady. It goes without saying, but I'm going to try to say it in the words without getting overly emotional, because the way that I feel about you, like I said, I look at your work and get inspired. I not just see you through social media, but I actually have watched you grow as an artist. And I always say this on a lot of shows that I have. It's always like what you do is kind of like painting on a canvas, and we see your work every single time, and we take a look at it and we appreciate it for what it is, and what it is truly inspiring. And I just really not just wish the best for your career, but the best for you, period, because you have given us a whole lot throughout your years, and the best thing that we can do is come back and not just promote and push and do everything on an inspired level, but whatever else we could do, and just show genuine appreciation and tell people that, hey, you need to go to your website, CadyMcClain.com, and follow you on Twitter, which I did, at Cady McClain, and
Me too.
bought your album,
Hey.
which I will probably buy again. If, Blue, I'm telling you, people, Blue Glitter Fish, you need to go get it, definitely, and show that support. And I just truly wish you the very best, and thank you for blessing me, not just with this interview, but having a chance to know you as well.
Thank you. I'm just so touched, and this has been an amazing interview. I think this is probably like one of the greatest interviews I've ever had the opportunity to have.
Wow. Wow.
I really
thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
True.
That says a lot, knowing that you've been in this business for as long as you've had. So that, trust me when I say I'm very, very honored by what you just said. That means
really
a lot.
That really touched my heart. Like wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Big. That's big.
I mean it.
I know you do, and I know you do, and I love your team, and and tell your fiance, hey, you know what? If we're going to continue to promote and show love, not just to Flip Fantasia, but we need a Team Cady page, or we need a Team McClain, we need a team whatever we're going to do.
Right.
We're going to make sure that we do everything in our power to make sure that we're going to show you a ton of love. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys too. It's been amazing. Right. You're all beautiful people, and I just really appreciate you talking to me. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll be in touch this week with you. And if you need anything, you give me a call, and we will touch bases this week, Cady.
All right, it sounds great.
All right, blessings to you. That is the beautiful, the talented, the talented, the gifted. She is everything, and she is definitely a true, and I mean this with every sense of the word, friend. And it's big that she kind of likes how we get down.
Smile from ear to ear to ear.
Thank you to the wonderful host, Sweet Aaron, and thank you to our two people who came and gave us a shot in the arm by the name of Miss Monique. Like I said, you can go ahead and hit her up on Twitter at Monique Dismuke, DISMUKE, and give out your Facebook too, young lady.
It is Monique Dismuke at Facebook, or Mo, MOE _WRITES, Mo Writes.
And Miss Nicole, actress extraordinaire, why don't you go ahead and give out your Facebook and social media information as well, dear?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter by typing in Nicole, middle initial R, last name Hughes, HUGHES. Also check out my website, NicoleRHughes.com, and I'm on Instagram as well. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Monique, you got to throw out your Instagram as well, too. So
I'm on Instagram under Monique Dismuke as well. And I think my Facebook page is Monique Dismuke Actress. So that's it.
Yes, it is.
That's it.
Okay. We just had confirmation. We just had confirmation right now. That's exactly what it is. Thanks a lot, Aaron.
Exactly
Appreciate that. You're live on the scene right now. Wait, are you?
Nexxlegacy.